We're going to step forwards now. Number 9 shape block. Reverse hand down. Number 9 shape block. Forwards. Hana! Forwards. 2. Okay, just for a second. Let's look at the handwork of that technique. So, the idea of a number 9 shape block is to attack a joint that somebody has a weapon in of some kind. You're not going to try and go to block the weapon itself, but you're attacking the joint. Now, you got 2 joints in an arm. You got the wrist joint and the elbow joint. And a walking stance, because you're stepping forwards, because you're traveling forwards, you're gaining some forward distance. And you're able to step off to one side because you're stepping forwards down the side of the attacker. Now, what that means is that your number 9 shape block, I'll do this from the side. The number 9, a lot of people perform this as a guillotine here. But the advantages of doing it in a walking stance means that you're not going for the wrist joint, okay? It's not a close technique to the body here. This is a technique that's further away. So now your far hand, the hand that's coming up, is actually coming in more than it is coming up. So now you're going to extend that hand forward. That's coming in. The bottom hand is dropping down. Now what that will do, obviously we've got to be mindful of social distancing, and Bob's not any good to me here because he's not got any arms. But if you imagine an attacker coming in, this hand is going to be coming in behind the elbow. Okay, it's going to be coming in underneath their elbow. Okay, and the downward hand, the sort of guillotine drop-in hand, is going to be going down onto the wrist. And you can do that off at one side. So what that does is the walking stance allows you to get closer to the attack. Okay, and perform that behind the elbow joint so that you can go for an elbow and wrist application, not a wrist strike. So let's have a few goes at that again. Block. And just forwards. Hana! 2. Set. And just think about that. So the leading hand will be coming in more than coming up. Okay, we'll get onto that one in a minute or two. Okay, because it's a walking stance, we're looking to gain distance forward and backwards. Let's gain forward distance. Let's get this front hand forwards. Let's get it in behind the elbow joint, dropping the backhand onto the wrist forearm, creating the action to happen on the elbow joint. Sharon's waving. Are the hips executed the same in both ways? So the hips with this one, your action hand is the downward hand. So you're performing a reverse hip twist into this. We talked about obverse and reverse hip twist a few weeks ago. That'll be worth going over that on this. But ultimately a reverse hip twist is executing here so that you're performing like a downward punch with the reverse hand, only you're using the outer forearm to hit against their arm, and the other hand is coming in behind the elbow. So let's have a few goes at that. We'll be stepping forwards into this. Are you ready? Stepping forwards. Let's go left leg forwards. Number 9 shape block. Ready? Hana! 2. Set. Aho. Yo. Paro. Show, relax. Okay, so that's a high joint attack, number 9 shape block. Let's go on to a low joint attack. So now we're talking about the wrist. Now, when we're talking about the wrist, we've got to assume we're attacking something that's coming quite close to us. And that's where the sitting stance comes in. because now we can perform this quite close and create a little bit of cavitation with the body to make sure that we don't get caught with the weapon. We can't really do that with a walking stance because we've already committed ourselves forward. Okay, so walking stance is really good from the stepping outside, attacking inwards technique. A sitting stance, that's when you're caught, where you've got to be attacking, you've got to be performing the attack quite close. Okay, so the attack is here and you're performing it against the wrist joint. Yes? So the other one was against the elbow joint in a walking stance here. This one is against the wrist joint. Okay? And as you do that, good sitting stance, as you strike down, just a slight cavitation in the body as you perform it. Yes? Just to keep your torso away from it. Okay, so we do this on the spot, in a sitting stance. Feet right leg out in sitting stance, and we're just going to perform number 9 shape block on the spot. Ready? Hana! 2 set net tasso yasso ilgo. So this is really traveling quite close. This guillotine action, this is the wrist joint we're attacking. Okay, so somebody's got a weapon or something, we're attacking the wrist joint. This isn't the elbow high joint, this is the low wrist joint. Hana! 2 set net tasso. Now if you think about this, if you were in a sitting stance and you were reaching quite a long way for the elbow joint, okay, you're going to put yourself in a vulnerable position because you're reaching forward without actually committing your feet or stance or body weight forward. So that's why the sitting stance, number 9 shape block, really is a good technique for the wrist joint. Okay, the guillotine strike, wrist joint strike against the wrist. That's good. If you start reaching out here, it becomes problematic, it breaks the stance. A walking stance, it's perfect for that. It allows you to reach forward to the elbow joint to execute a good high joint strike. Does that make sense? Yes, so the chambers for both those in the same, just the distance in front. Yes, so the chambers are exactly the same. So we're using the outer forearm on the downward part, okay? And we're using the inner forearm on the inward part, or the upward part. But you've just got a close to the body guillotine action, okay? This is going for the low joint, wrist joint here, okay? Hands are open just to emphasize it. And then you've got the high joint strike, still inner forearm, still outer forearm for the downward action, inner forearm for the inward action, but now you're coming much higher. And when you do it on a partner, when you do it with your brothers, sisters, whoever you got there, just make sure that when you're in a walking stance, you're coming in behind the elbow and into the top of the forearm, just above the wrist on the downward arm. So I have a few goes at that. If you get any questions, record it, send me a clip of it, give me some idea of what you're doing. Okay, I hope that technical tip helps you out. Like and subscribe if you want to see the next one, and don't forget to ring that bell. I'm going to be uploading these relatively regular, so keep posted.